Good afternoon, Linda. How's it going?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Happy New Year. It's the beginning of the year and we're off to the races, so to speak, right?
Yes.
So today's topic is what we should be asking our parents about their estate planning. A lot of the problems that we see as advisors is kind of like the lack of communication between generation one and generation two. So we thought we'd take some time to ask some of those questions or to help you prep for some of those questions. And I guess, Linda, for me, would be the first question is to ask your parents is what are their wants and wishes? Um, like, do they have a plan in place? What documents do they have? Where are those documents located? Um, and typically we'll see there's four common documents. You want to have a trust and have a conversation around that. There's a will, there's a durable power of attorney, and a healthcare directive. And each one of those do different things. But this would be a good place to start to see, like, what are their wants and wishes, and what documents do they have in place to actually make that happen. What do you think, Linda?
Yeah, no, I agree. And the other piece to remember are there are non-financial items of value in the family likely. So I know for me was, asking my parents, do you have some sort of a spreadsheet or some thought? Because we've got multiple kids, we've got grandkids. And so that kind of triggered them to remember, yes, okay, maybe we do want to be a little more specific about this. And really, it just comes from not wanting people to be fighting about items after someone passes. That is a situation we absolutely want to avoid. Nobody likes to see that. And that's just a perfect way to make it super clear.
Yeah, absolutely. And tagging along with that, and maybe number three would be like, what am I required to do? Like as the individual that's having this conversation, like figure out who's in charge, what people are involved, who's going to make what decision, and is it them making that decision by themselves, or is it like as all siblings come together to make a decision, right? The worst thing you want to have is all this infighting. Like just like you said, somebody may have a personal attachment to jewelry or different art pieces or whatnot, and you want to make sure that all those things are clearly identified, but also who's in charge to make those decisions if they're not. I would say that's number three. What about number four?
Yeah, I would throw in there just confirming that your parents have a healthcare directive, as you called it, or it's also sometimes called a living will in place. And I only, single that one out because sometimes estate planning attorneys don't automatically create that. They might see it as sort of like a medical piece that is not part of the estate plan, but it really is very important. I mean, that is the document that you can take to a doctor. Let's say your father falls ill, he's in the hospital. Being able to take that, it allows you to communicate with them and say these were his wishes, about sustaining life treatments, about donation of organs, again, if he ends up passing, about burial versus cremation. Of course, not things that we don't like talking about, but you don't want your children or whoever it is to be making these decisions hoping they're choosing what you would have wanted. This document is you talking, and it's a good one to have on file for your loved ones.
Yeah, absolutely. It's tough to be in that situation where with a parent that's going through a medical illness and you're trying to figure out what are their wants and wishes. And that document will really uh, create peace of mind within the family that they're making the right decisions that mom and dad wanted. Another thing that I found is that as parents get older, um, you know, some of the, let's say, older generations liked everything in paper, right? And they had stacks of papers and folders and stuff like that. But as we get into this digital universe, and as grandparents and parents start to use iPhones and stuff like that, everything is going electronic, right? So I think one of the big things that I find is, where do you find other important documents? Like my father passed away 5 years ago, and we're still finding like old 401k plans that he had that now he would be required to take the required minimum distribution on. and we're only getting notices, and that's how we're finding out, right? So in this digital paperless world, maybe taking a one sheet of paper and just identifying all the total accounts, so that way, if you are the executor or trustee, you know where to go to find those accounts. I think that will help a lot, as well as documents for credit cards or property titles, etc.
Yeah. And then I would add to that list professionals that you can contact. So
Oh yeah,
if
I mean
your
that's
parents,
huge.
it is huge because to your point, emotions are running high. It's hard to think clearly at this time. There's so much going on. So to have that document, to see right there, who am I supposed to contact? It's the attorney that helped create those documents, but it could also be a tax person that your parents worked with, or insurance people, or just it could be team members that know their situation and could potentially help you with what you need to do.
Yeah,
So those are six bullet points. Or anything else, Amar, or any other thoughts? Any
no,
final
I was
closing
just gonna say
thoughts?
that is a big one, because the continuity of mom and dad's stuff, using the same professionals, is probably like the largest key to unlocking some of the like uncertainties or questions that you may have.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for joining me as always. If you want to learn more, you can check out both of our websites, subscribe to our channel, and just reach out if you have any questions.
Thank you, Linda.
Thank you. See you later.
All right, bye.
Bye.